This video is going to show you how to add your explanations of evidence. So you're going to be adding this in the explanation of evidence box following each of the pieces of evidence. Your commentary, which is what you're adding to these boxes, is going to tell what the evidence means, making it inference in relation to your research question. It's going to tell why the evidence matters or the significance in relation to your question, and it is also going to be longer than the evidence itself. Ideally, it'll be twice as long, but as close as you can get to that is what we need. And we need it to be, of course, longer than the evidence itself. The good news is you should already have this done. This was the I say step of your source notes. So, in theory, you should just be copying this over from your source notes. However, some of you needed to make some revisions, and others of you did not do that part. So, you want to keep in mind that you do not want to summarize or restate what this evidence says, and you also don't want to state what you think it shows without explaining in detail your thinking behind how the evidence shows that. There were ways to start on the using informational text as evidence handout. If you look at the bottom half of the back of that, it was a dark blue sheet. It had a bunch of different ways that you might start commentary, and it also kind of shows you the different things that you might say in your commentary. You might explain how personal experience or observations of the world illustrate the idea and the evidence with an example. You might think about what side, or to discuss what side of a debate about the topic it supports. You can talk about what you can infer or conclude based on the evidence. You can give more detail about why or how whatever the evidence is talking about is. Those are the types of things that you can do when you are making your commentary. So anyway, like I said, this should already be done in your source notes. You should have on each sticky a section that is I say. And if you have done everything up until this point that you should have, then this next step is going to be super easy. You're going to find your first piece of evidence. You're going to find the sticky note that you copied that from, and you're going to look at the I say part, and you're going to put it in the explanation box right below that piece of evidence. So for the first body paragraph, I'm going to find that first sticky of the color that I highlighted everything for my first subtopic in, and I am going to copy that right in this box. So now that I have my first explanation in, I'm just going to scroll down to my second explanation. I'm going to go back to my packet. I'm going to find my second sticky note of that first subtopic color, and I am going to just type it in right there. And unless there were changes suggested in the feedback that you got on your source notes, there's really nothing else that you need to do with your explanations. You're just copying them over from your source notes onto your outline. All right, and and once you have done that for all three of the body paragraphs, you have completed this step.